Greetings and salutations, world. I am the Bearded Con Man, and with me once again is my good friend Ray. Today we are reteaming to watch the new Power Rangers trailer. So let's get into it. This, by the way, is the second trailer. It's not the teaser, it's like the actual full one. So let's get started.
This is your time.
None of us really know each other.
We're all screw-ups.
But somehow, we were all in the same place at the same time when Billy found those coins. Guys, check out how we glow.
I'm blue.
No, I'm black.
What?
I am.
No, you're not.
Do you feel weird?
We're strong.
Insanely strong. The answer to what is happening to you is here. You five are the Power Rangers.
Did I just hear you say we're Power Rangers?
Is this some kind of joke? We're talking to a wall.
I was kind of expecting a little more.
Alpha.
So where were you last night?
Me and 4 kids found a spaceship buried underground. I'm pretty sure I'm a superhero.
Cool. Pee in that cup.
Power Rangers were a legion of warriors. You must become those warriors.
It's just a hologram, like a video game.
That's a strong-ass hologram.
Not a video game.
You were born for this.
I will destroy everything.
She is pure evil.
How do you expect us to stop her?
It's morphin' time.
Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. One man to have all that power.
It's a lot of gold. This is your destiny. This is your time.
All right, there it is.
Man. Okay. Wow. All right, so we have a unique perspective. I grew up in the 90s loving Power Rangers. This guy grew up in the 80s, didn't really know much about it, understandably, because
I just missed it.
you just missed it.
Right at the, yeah.
You just missed
Yep.
it. So let me get your perspective first before you get it from a guy who grew up with this franchise.
If this was a, if this didn't have anything to do with Power Rangers, and they were just like, hey, there's this new movie coming out, whatever, I'd be interested in seeing this.
Sure.
I think it looks cool. I do know the Power Ranger storyline. The thing I would say about this, it looks like they might be moving a bit too fast. Like everything, I don't know if it's because we're in this time of like TV right now, where you can have these like long drawn out episodes and character development, and then you go to a movie and everything has to be wrapped up in like an hour 45 to 2
Right.
hours. You can already tell like where they're going with this.
Yeah.
You know, and there's not going to be a lot of character development in this at all, which is one thing I'm really already hesitant about.
Mhm.
But overall, like I'd go see this movie, and I'm not a Power Rangers person at all. It looks like a badass action film with like all the right stuff in there. So
Yeah, I would
that's
agree.
kind of where I am with that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, one of my it's weird because, you know, seeing like a modern version of this, you know, like the Power Ranger suits, they were definitely 90s, but they were also real. So it's interesting that they're going full CGI with the actual Power Ranger suits. And they seem like they're a little bit more alien in a way, which again makes sense.
Well, they're not like that. Like, I mean, in the show, they were just basically like spandex.
Right, exactly.
This looks like it's armor.
Right.
Which looks cool to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find it interesting too that they actually have like powers outside of actually being in the suits. That one is kind of different. like, you know, that they're super strong and that they can jump really far and cool things like that. So them actually getting actual powers from it, even when they're not suited up, that is pretty cool to me. I do like how, you know, it's Angel Grove. To me, it's important. I like that it's, you know, Jason and Kimberly and Trini and Billy and Zach. You know, it's the actual core group, you know, that I grew up with in the 90s, and, you know, they kind of have of course, modern spin on it, where it kind of, the vibe I got from it is it's like the Breakfast Club gets powers.
You know, here's one thing I really like about it is they're not racist in it.
Yes.
Where the Black Ranger doesn't have to be black.
And the Yellow Ranger isn't, you know.
And it looks like the Yellow Ranger is the black kid in this, and then, you know, like, because he puts on the yellow headband at one point.
Yeah.
So I think they're hinting that he's gonna be the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
So, like, thank God it's not all super duper racist like it was in the TV
Yes,
show.
it was. And it's funny because when you're a kid, that just goes.
Yeah.
But when you look back on it, it's like, oh
shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. No.
So I do like the little changes there. Bryan Cranston is Zordon.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. Not only is one of my favorite actors just in general in this movie, but he's playing someone that was so iconic from my childhood. That's just, to me, that's such a cool idea. And if you get someone that has gravitas like Bryan Cranston to play Zordon, that kind of gives a little bit of hope for me. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there actually is more to this movie. Like, you know, maybe it will be good, because there's a big hesitance for me. You know, I found that, especially, like, you know, with these TV shows that are becoming movies, like Transformers.
We just talked about Ninja Turtles on my, you know, podcast. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Helions, go check that out. It's one of those things where I'm cautiously optimistic about it. You know what I mean?
You have to be on these movies anymore. Yeah.
And you know, there are some aesthetic changes that, okay, I get, like Alpha 5, which is what that little robot character was. That's actually voiced by Bill Hader, by the way, which I really appreciate that.
Which is weird. How does Bill Hader get all these, like, robot voicing gigs?
That's so
because he also played BB-8 in Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah.
So he's got a niche.
Yeah, he really does. So I'm pretty pumped about that, because Alpha 5 really is an important group member of the group, just as much as the Rangers or Zordon are. Rita, that's a really huge departure for the character that I'm used to, for me, just by what I was shown. She was like this, you know, evil sorceress, kind of like over the top. With this one, she seems like she's a little bit more hands-on.
I don't know anything about her. What does she do?
So she's like Zordon's sworn enemy. Like, they've been fighting each other for eons.
Okay.
And then Zordon actually, before he crash lands onto Earth in their final battle, he seals her away for like 1,000 years on the moon.
Oh shit. Okay.
So she escapes after the 1,000 years and, like, you know, goes to conquer Earth. So that's the whole reason why the Power Rangers are brought about, because they need defenders against Rita and her forces.
Which is interesting, though, right? Because it's like, okay, if you and I are enemies, and I trap you in this house for 1,000 years, wouldn't I come back in 999 years and just kind of like redo it for another 1,000 or what? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why? They're good, out of sight, out of mind. I'm not gonna. I mean, you know, like, yeah, you should, whatever.
Yeah,
like, that's just me and my logic.
No, for sure. It's funny because, you know, like, Power Rangers actually was called the Super Sentai. I can't remember exactly how it is in Japanese, but it was originally a Japanese show.
Right.
And Rita actually was this evil sorceress who sold her soul to the devil to avenge her son.
Oh jeez. Well, there's a lot of that kind of stuff in that culture. So yeah, that makes that storyline seems like it would be legit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and in ours, it's like she's this evil sorceress that battles Zordon, and, you know, like, she just wants to conquer Earth, which you know, still, that's a great motivation for a character. But she's like, you know, like this over the top, like, she doesn't really get hands on. Like, she has like all these minions and monsters that fight the Rangers, and she's just kind of like the overhead of all.
She's like sits in like a castle kind of deal and like commands people to do shit.
Exactly. With this one, she's clearly more hands on, and she looks way different, understandably. The one thing that I'm interested in is the fact that she's green. And if you're familiar with Power Rangers like I am, green is reserved for one character, and that's the Green Ranger,
Sure.
which is Tommy Oliver. And when the Green Ranger comes about, actually is from Rita herself. It's like this evil ranger. So I don't know if they're almost saying like Rita at one point was the Green Ranger.
That'd be
she's
awesome.
kind of got like that armor look to her.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. And like she passes it on. Maybe if there's a sequel to make like, you know, the Green Ranger and like he's technically the villain of the second film.
Oh yeah, huh?
That would be really cool to me if they spin it that way.
Well, going back to like something we were talking about it probably a couple months ago with this kind of stuff is like where these movies need to start setting things up to where they got to set up the Green Ranger. If they're going to do a Green Ranger, they have to set it up in movie 1 so that he can appear in movie 3.
Right.
So you know you see the transition and
building.
so you're building something just like these TV shows do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those movies don't do that. They don't want to do any character development. They want it all in one movie,
Right.
tied up in a bow by the end, and you know.
Exactly. And I mean Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
I mean those are big ideas of, you know, like TV shows that transcend into movies, and they're just this rushed mess.
Yeah.
It's just like they're going off of just, you know, titles of like, you know, these particular characters just as themselves to proportion or propel the, what's the word I'm looking for? Propel the story. That's
There we
what
go.
I'm looking for. To propel the story along, and I'm really hoping that's not the case with this one because I am pretty excited. The Zords, even, that's what those big mechanical, which you know, they each have their own robot that's called a Zord, and they're modeled after, you know, their particular power, and it actually looks like they are sticking with, like, you know, the prehistoric creatures that they're derived their power from. Like red's Tyrannosaurus Rex, yellow's saber-toothed tiger, blue is Triceratops, black is Mastodon, and then pink is pterodactyl.
Sure.
So it looks like they're still keeping that, and you could tell by one Zords combined. I'm really intrigued by that. It kind of felt a little bit Transformer-y to me. Which I'm kind of like, but maybe it'll translate better when I see it on screen. Because, like, you know, when they did it in the 90s, it was literally, they did what they do for Godzilla. It's literally just a dude dressed up in a suit, and then they just built like a miniature town underneath.
Which let's be honest. It's like you're gonna see that, you know, Godzilla type stuff to this. I mean, if they were to make it, I'll put it to you this way. While most people probably love that, if they were to do that same format and style in a movie, people wouldn't
translate.
People wouldn't see it, right?
No.
Right.
So it makes sense, definitely.
There's a grittiness and there's a grittiness and an edginess to this, where even somebody like me is like, I would go see that movie,
right?
Because even if I know nothing about Power Rangers, like that's still like a demographic where I can get into like seeing that. Now I don't know what that means for hardcore Power Rangers people, but I know for me, not knowing shit and also like kind of just not really caring because it was not in my wheelhouse as a child. I would see that movie.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job in creating something that looks like it's, you know, going to be just as much for the fans as it is for the general audience.
Sure.
And that's hard to do. The big guy at the end, by the way, that's the one thing I'm not happy about.
The gold guy?
Yeah, and there's like, that's a lot of gold. That's actually Goldar, which is Rita's right-hand man.
Okay.
But he's like, and I'll show you a picture of him, but off camera, he's like this gargoyle, lion, chimera-looking thing in the show. So he's like this big armored lion dude. Like he has like this face with red eyes.
Oh, I know that.
The big black wings.
I remember seeing that toy when I was a kid.
Yeah,
okay.
He has like you know, like kind of like a black lion mane and ears, and but he's like wearing gold armor. Sure. With this, it looks like it's some type of gold, like almost like a construct that Rita like
a golden warrior of some kind. Like it almost reminds me of what we saw in Suicide Squad with the Enchantress's brother.
Yes.
It almost reminds me of something like that, but I said, I don't know shit about this, so it looks cool to me.
Yeah, it looks cool to me too. I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, I know I definitely had a different reaction when we did the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, but that's because it's Marvel.
That's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man. It's, you know, I know Marvel Studios is gonna do it right. with this one, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh man, those are really cool. But in the back of my mind, like I've been disappointed so many times. It's just like, don't get too excited because you're gonna go into this film and you're gonna, like if it sucks, you're gonna be depressed.
Well, how many Spider-Man movies have we seen that are just like, oh god, this is the worst?
3.
Yeah, there's 3. Yeah, there's 3 of them, and so we've been through 3 duds.
Yes.
So we're excited to see a good one happen.
Yes.
And so this is the first. So imagine if we get 3 of these duds before. So that's why I think we're being a little bit cautious about liking it or not. But yeah.
But I love the style. I love that they're keeping true. Like the heart of the story is definitely there. With who the characters are, the location, and the means behind the actual story itself, like why there are Power Rangers and what that's about. So I'm pretty stoked about it. This one was cool to actually see them finally actually in their suits. It was pretty cool to see. So because I mean, like it continues on in television. Like it literally has not stopped since the 90s. So there's been like 30 different shows.
Wait, they're still doing it on TV? Oh Jesus, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I've definitely lost track. Like the last one I watched was with my younger brother. He had to have been 8, so it was like a good 10 years ago.
Shit.
And the only reason why I wanted to, and it was smart on their part, they actually brought back Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, so like he became a Power Ranger and led this team again.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is kind of me like passing off the torch to my little brother, and it's something we can both enjoy watching.
Sure, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's definitely been like a huge proponent of my life. So I'm pretty stoked about this one, but I'm gonna be. As you can tell, like I'm kind of chill about it. So it's like, okay, I really like what I'm seeing here, but I'm not gonna get too excited just in case it's,
not good.
crushes me, which I don't want to happen.
It'll be cool to actually do a movie review of this movie when it comes out,
for sure,
and then kind of go back and forth, be able to look at what we said and what actually turns out to be true. So.
Definitely. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Go check out the second trailer. It just came out today. Be sure to like, share, favorite, and subscribe. Also, check out Ray's channel. He's doing some really cool stuff. We actually did a video together called, it's part of this thing called Helions.
Hellions.
There we go. Hellions, all right. Okay, that's a lot better.
Yeah, so I'm doing a video podcast series called Hellions. It's about Atlanta artists and people that are passionate in the city doing creative things. So yeah, come on over and check me out.
Rock on. And what channel can they find that on?
I don't know. You can find me through my Instagram, squishypuss.com, or squishypuss on Instagram, squishypuss.com, and then there's like links to the Hellions videos and all that kind of stuff. It technically doesn't. I'm not like launching that until the end of this month, which is January 31st is the official date. Right now there's a soft launch going, but the videos will be really fully going at the end of this month.
Rock on.
So
well, I'll have all of his social media stuff in the comment section below, also in the description of this video, so make sure to go check him out. He does some awesome work. So Ray, thanks again for joining me, man.
Yeah.
I'm the Bearded Con Man. This is Ray, and just remember, beard, be exceptional and rad dudes. We'll see you next time.